Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be my explanation for the ending of Batman v Superman. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it. Zack Snyder's been talking about how things are going to work in Justice League Part 1, so here we go. So a lot of you probably walked away from the movie having a pretty good sense for the way things are going to play out. It's just a question of timeline. Superman winds up in the ground, but we all know that he comes back from the dead, or seemingly from the dead. Things largely play out just like the Death of Superman arc in the comics, written by Dan Jurgens, who is actually like the new writer on Action Comics now because of the DC Rebirth stuff. That's completely separate. I'll explain what's going on with Superman in the comics at the end of the video because it has nothing to do with what's going on in the movies. But way back in the 90s, during the Death of Superman arc, and in the movie Batman v Superman, Doomsday seemingly kills Superman, or we should say Superman seemingly dies, saving the world from Doomsday. They both end up coming back and beating the shit out of each other several times over the years, because comics, of course, that's why I love comics. But generally the way they use Doomsday in the comics is a little bit different than the way the movies used him. You can see the way the world was treating Superman during Batman v Superman. Like, do I help people? If I help people, I wind up hurting all these other people. There was that weird scene with Pa Kent, the hallucination, where he's like, Clark, I saved our farm, but then Lana Lang's farm downstream ended up getting flooded, and I had to hear all the calves screaming in my dreams while I was eating my victory cake. That was pretty haunting. The only way for Superman to win in this scenario is to take himself out of the equation. So he kills himself, saving the world, and that will forever prove to everyone that he is on their side. Look, he killed himself to save you all. Maybe he's not here to hurt you. So the big problem that he faces during Batman v Superman has been solved. The second big problem is Lex Luthor's comment at the end. The bell has been rung, it can't be unrung. Then it goes to the shot of the painting with the angel standing over the battlefield. A lot of you were asking me what that painting meant. And I don't know if it's Michelangelo. I couldn't find if it's actually a painting in real life, but the way Lex Luthor interprets it at the beginning of the movie is different from the way Zack Snyder uses it at the end of the movie. The devil doesn't come from below, the devil comes from above. So the devil, at the beginning of the movie, as Lex Luthor explains it, is Superman. The red capes are coming. As in, Superman is going to become this super leader of the entire world, where it's going to turn into an injustice situation where he becomes something of a tyrant. But at the end of the movie, when they go back to that painting, they mean to mirror that thought, the devil comes from the sky. Because we know about the Flash coming back and warning Bruce Wayne to assemble the Justice League, find them. He says, find them, Bruce. We know that the devil from the sky is Darkseid. Now, we don't really know what he's going to actually look like in Justice League Part 1. I really hope they don't do the Batman v Superman thing where they reveal what Darkseid looks like up front. But essentially what Zack Snyder is saying using this imagery is that there will be a new threat from space coming from above. Darkseid and the legions of Apocalypse. That is why at the end of the movie, when Batman says to Wonder Woman, please help me find these other metahumans, we need to stand together. And she's like, what makes you think that they would do that? He says, oh, I have a feeling we're going to need to. It is kind of a cheesy throwaway line, but he's saying that we need to assemble the Justice League because Darkseid is coming. Now, he doesn't know what Darkseid's name is. He just knows that shit is going to get crazy and they're going to need everybody they can get. So even if you haven't read the Death of Superman arc, you know that he goes away for a while in the comics and then comes back after an event called the Reign of the Supermen, where a whole bunch of people come back claiming to be Superman, and then eventually the real Superman reemerges. Now here's where Zack Snyder explains the creation of the Justice League. He says he wanted Batman to have to do it by himself without the help of Superman. I mean, technically he does have Wonder Woman's help, and she is a fully fledged hero, but he didn't want them to have Superman's help, because when you have a god going around telling other people, there's a threat coming, you must join me so that we can save the Earth, it is a lot easier to get people to help you. So in order to make it a little more difficult, make it a little more interesting, Batman is going to have to go around and try to put the Justice League together by himself. So what I'm thinking is that Justice League Part 1 will be that story. For most of that movie, he'll be going around Walter Matthau trying to put the Bad News Bears together, and then at the end of that, there'll be some big WTF, Superman will come back, and then the Justice League Part 2 movie will be the story of how they all come together to defeat Darkseid. Now, a lot of you, especially the comic book readers, are asking, how the hell is Superman going to come back in the movies? There's no Fortress of Solitude, there's no Kryptonian tech to supercharge him with solar energy. It's either going to have to happen the old-fashioned way, or they're going to have to take his body to Silas Stone at Star Labs. So I'm not really expecting a reign of the Superman arc from the comics. What I'm thinking is that in assembling the Justice League, he'll learn about all the fancy toys that they have at Star Labs, and that will be part of how they bring Superman back. Now, they still have a lot of Kryptonian tech. If they have a mother box that's going to help create Cyborg, they'll still have some Kryptonian tech. So they'll find a way to juice Superman's body with solar energy that will bring him the rest of the way back. Just like in the comics, when Doomsday seemingly killed him, I think it's the same deal in the movie, where his body isn't technically dead, he's just on the edge of death. If he took a nuclear blast to the face and then came back within the span of like 2 minutes in a movie, then it's going to take a lot more than a bone sword through the chest to kill him. So all things being equal, I'll just guess and say that for like the first third of Justice League Part 1, he's going to stay in the ground in that casket in Smallville till they figure out, oh wait, maybe he's not completely dead, we should try to bring him back. So happy Easter, Christ is totally coming back from the dead. Don't you love the Christ metaphors with Superman? Even if it's not a religious film, Superman always comes with all these heavy-handed religious themes, which I think is kind of funny. Christ died, and then 3 movies later, he came back from the dead. Let's count that. So what's next? There's Suicide Squad, that's 1 movie. There's Wonder Woman right after that, and then Justice League makes 3 movies. So Christ dies, then 3 movies later, he comes back. But let me know in the comments, how do you think Superman is going to come back? Do you think that Star Labs is going to use some Kryptonian tech to find a way to supercharge his body? It's going to have to involve solar energy. And there's no Fortress of Solitude in the movies right now. So I think maybe by the end of like Justice League Part 2, we'll probably get a version of the Watchtower, we might get a version of the Fortress of Solitude. But what's going to happen tonight is there'll be a new episode of The Walking Dead. There actually is a new round of the DC giveaway, so I should actually say all you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. It's just for 2 IMAX gift certificates for the movie. I'll keep doing that through next week. But new Walking Dead tonight, I just posted a big trailer video for Negan. He's going to be coming really soon, so a lot of really awesome comic book related things happening right now. While you guys wait for me to post that video, you can click here for all my Batman v Superman Easter eggs, and you can click here for my review of the movie. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.